You see mud puddles in the road reserve just outside Schutts Estate Main Drain. No water is ponding here in this area next to the sound barrier. No evidence of it. No water is running up the hill from Schutts Estate Main Drain. So there's no water that is running up towards Cullen Court. No water ponding on the dirt track. Maybe just slight, very, very slight puddles, not even puddles. No water making its way down onto the front TRZ2 zone block. No water making its way up and then down onto the TRZ2 zone block. The drain on the front block, as you can hear, water is flowing through the drain from under Lefaver Street, 12 Lefaver Street, through 7 Cullen Court, through the easement, flowing into the drain here, and then from the drain here, either under the road and then to Schutts Estate Main Drain. Okay, so that's all working as intended. Note the spoon drain. Spoon drain is now functioning correctly and carrying any water runoff from the reserve into the municipal pit. Note the spoon drain is unblocked. We've got some ponding in this section here, which is to be expected. As we make our way up, note the gradient of the hill goes up and then up in this direction or down into the spoon drain to carry overland flow into the drain. Some ponding there. We've got some leaves and debris. I cleaned this out a couple of days ago. I've got some debris back. This is runoff from the road reserve. So we make our way up the section to the back of 7 Cullen Court. Lefaver Street, number 12 Lefaver Street, our neighbour at the back. No overland flow from the top of the road reserve. Though it's not raining very much at the moment, this is pretty much after the event. So we've had about 19.5 millimetres of rain overnight, so it's a good soaking. The spoon drain is now functioning as intended. The hydraulic link between 7 Cullen Court, 12 Lefaver Street and the Crown land under the stewardship of the Department of Transport, everything is functioning as intended, and you can hear the water running through the drain. Note the concrete barrier, the new sound wall, functioning not only to reduce the noise from traffic from the West Gate Freeway, but also functioning as a very effective system to prevent water from coming in from the road reserve from the West Gate embankment, West Gate Freeway embankment. Note the direction of the land as it slopes towards the barrier, so water cannot now come up from behind the wall, from the embankment, up and over the road, down and down onto the TRZ2 zone block. It cannot happen. Note some ponding outside the TRZ2 zone block, but in terms of overland flow onto the block, there is none. Okay, so here's the West Gate Freeway noise wall. How can Engeny's maps be correct when they're saying that water can flow through here, okay, hit this area and then flow uphill and then overflow 7 Cullen Court? It cannot happen. Now I can understand if Engeny says, all right, we can get some flooding around this area here from Schutts Estate Main Drain, which runs through 641 Melbourne Road, through 637 Melbourne Road and makes its way up through Spotswood. I can understand that, some flooding in this section here. Without flooding, it is impossible for the flooding to make its way up to 7 Cullen Court. Look how steep the gradient is here. It's just not possible. So Engeny's flood maps have to be incorrect, and of course they are incorrect because they're based on Melbourne water and their 1990s hydrology when this was a timber barrier, right? This is concrete now. Look at the concrete here, right? And look at the steel here, and have a look at that. We've got some corrosion there, right, on that bolt, okay? And that's a big clue. Look at that, corrosion. Right, so one would have hoped that these are fully galvanized, but maybe they're not fully galvanized steel. So these bolts, okay, if flooding was really an issue, okay, why have they corroded like that? Why wouldn't the designers have chosen, okay, fully galvanized screws so that they don't rust like that? Right? Right? So you can just see, it's obvious that Engeny is incorrect, and Melbourne Water is incorrect as well. And of course, there's been so many changes in this area since this went in, this sound barrier, right? This section here obviously needs some work. We've got ponding here, here, but of course this hasn't been made into a track like this. This is just a muddy ditch. So you can see the landscaping that they've done there. They've just done a little bit here, but that's not enough to drain the water here. 641 Melbourne Road, as you can see, there's no flooding. All right. This section here, you can see there is some water ponding. We've got a ponding section here. These gutters here. Got a bit of ponding there. Got a little bit of ponding in this section here. Got a very small amount of ponding here. We've got some ponding here. This takes some time before it fully drains, because it will drain through here, across here, and into the municipal pit here. But as you can see, the trailer yard is dry. We don't have any flow overland. Okay, look at the slope of the land. Okay, look at the slope of the land, how it goes up like that. So how can water come from Schutts Estate or from behind the freeway embankment through the sound barrier, make its way uphill, okay, and then downhill over here? It's impossible. It's just impossible. And remember, the slope over here, it's sloped down towards the noise wall. Okay, Melbourne Water and Engeny, right? They're incorrect with their maps. It is as simple as that, right? And think about this: even if we did in a flood of biblical proportions, okay, have some water coming over here, it would drain straight down that drain there, okay, make its way under here and through to Schutts Estate Main Drain, okay. And of course that's exactly what happened when John Holland, with their temporary water insulation in there, when it overflowed, the water flowed directly down that drain and there was no overland flow onto 7 Cullen Court. Okay. And then of course, in a massive storm, as the street becomes wet, the water that makes its way onto the driveway, we've got the legal point of discharge here next to the driveway, which takes any water runoff from the driveway into the pit, through to the municipal system, here, and to Schutts Estate. So the SBO is incorrect, it needs to be updated. That's where we're at.